Hello and welcome back to my GTNH playthrough. It is June 3rd, Wednesday, June 3rd, and we're over here by my plasma mixer. We're starting over here because this was like the most important discovery for me today, and I feel kind of dumb that I didn't even check this because I should have figured from how the water treatment plant stuff works. But you could change the number of parallels on this, and because it doesn't have an energy hatch, you can go crazy. Like if I want to jump up to 100 parallels per second per operation, for example, boom, 100,000 resplendent catalyst. You just have to have the energy to be able to sustain it. That I really wish I had known or like tested. I don't know what possessed me not to test it, I should say. But just throwing that out there for anyone, because that obviously speeds it up so much. Even just this 10 parallels right now is nice to keep this going, but I actually have plenty of resplendent going on. 70 million. So we're doing pretty good there. What's funny though is I discovered that after I crafted my second one of these guys. So I do have a second plasma mixer, which is I will say is kind of nice that I did end up crafting this guy, because while I'm not currently going to use it because of this and just have everything on demand, now it makes it really easy to have an on demand and a passive one if I want to set up like passive infinity for that stuff. And I will probably eventually build one for all the different things that I need or want to, like basically for every recipe this sucker could do. But for the moment, I'm just leaving it on demand. And at the moment, the on demand's just catching up from all the different recipes I've started and canceled. So there's just like a huge backlog for Resplendent going on. But because of that, we've got just tons. Not a lot of Infinity because I don't have it like proactively crafting anymore. I shut that craft off. That way I could start crafting a bunch of other things. This really gave me It's really gave me a second wind. I was kind of like feeling the slog, but that being able to speed that up is going to be so nice. Like I even crafted another Dyson component, these 81s, because it was so fast with that thing sped up. I still need to craft 5 separate blocks over here, but the only reason I wasn't doing that is because I'm going to probably craft these overnight. So this is nice, but obviously drains a lot of power. For example, if we look over in the right corner where it says 3.65 e to the 16th power, earlier today even I was at 8 point something or another. So draining a lot of power. Also, I did have this thing running crazy for a little while there, so it's not entirely. And then I also have the threshold turned down pretty low for actually filling back up the wireless power, or like where my NAC 5 was, because I was worried about that running out. But now we are pretty healthily getting everything to the NAC 5 point. I need to go check on the lower tier part because this is still headed in a negative trajectory, but looking a lot better than it was last week. And the sooner I can get to this Dyson thing where we can really start going with crazy with power, that'll be good. But in the meantime, to get to that and not have it take forever, basically started using the both the proxy input buffers and the input buffers to start fixing and like upgrading things. So for an example of where I've fixed something is weird. These two, for example, these two are my mega chemical reactors that are just on the auto crafting portion. Like there are some other random auto crafty-esque chemical reactors around. However, these two take care of the bulk of my auto crafting needs. And as you can see, we've got all this. The problem I used to have was I had the dual interface set up with the blocking cards, etc., etc. These guys, however, just like auto separate the craft. You don't have to worry about the fluids, or like if sometimes I randomly have jam ups where like water was left over from some recipes and whatnot. And I think it was because of I think I just had it set up in a janky way. This fixes all that, makes it real nice and neat. Zero issues with this guy so that's just like one example. One of my more immediate ones that I plan on doing but haven't quite done yet is I want to clean up like this whole mess going on for the component assembly lines, because I can just swap all these to the buffer input hatches and that'll eliminate all this stuff. Eliminate these input hatches, everything going on down here. There's a lot of there's a couple goofy things going on that doesn't really make this like easy to scale, but we'll be able to fix that. On top of that, I've started utilizing laser power more, where, for example, under here we've actually got lasers going. So lasers going down there to a new area, as well as coming over here to my mega alloy blast furnace or alloy blast smelters, which has really sped these up. Basically, the order I'm choosing to prioritize like fixing things is when I look at the crafting something for the Dyson, how much am I, like, where am I waiting, for example? So, for example, if I were just pull up the Dyson swarm deployment thing, if we look at this guy, all of this stuff is just fine, but right here, we've got this Titan steel, takes forever to craft, or did take forever. Now we have it at 256 UEV, so not anymore. Another one where directly because of those recipes, that my first implementation of actually using the proxy input buses is over here. 8 wire mills, specifically these guys are all set to circuit 3 with, again, you can see how much less wiring you have to do because you get the input buffer, then the proxies that are just linked to it that don't even need to be connected to AE2, which is beautiful. And this is all a circuit 3 one, because fine wires is something, again, if we look at this Dyson recipe here, need 73,000 infinity wire, which just gonna take a while, which is fine, but you know, it's another thing wanted to speed up. There was a few other things that I wanted to do, but so just to show a speed example, so I did all have all that stuff running out, and we have 1.8 million cosmic neutronium wires already, but that's fine. If I craft 100,000 of these right now, boom, look at that. Look how fast all those guys fired up. They're spread pretty evenly, and now I'm not going to bore you watching it finish out, but I did exactly this one earlier, the 100,000, and while I was standing here, it literally, all of them shut off besides one at the same time, where it just had the last little left over. So it actually split really evenly and stuff too, which is cool. Because the first time I tested it with just one proxy, it didn't seem to, but this is going to be the plan to just mass swarm everything that I need to start crafting faster. So it's not necessarily going to be like a bunch of wire mills or what have you. Right now, I knew I needed more fine wire crafting, so that goes here. And then channels is going to be really easy. Then, say, for example, I'm imagining foils is going to be another one that I want to move over, which I have a bunch of foil guys already. However, they randomly have problems, and I'm hoping the proxy and input buffers fixes that. So foils will probably be next. And then I know I want to do forming presses pretty fast, because that also does run into weird problems. And then probably circuit 2 mixers will be like in the immediate stuff I throw down. But then on top of that, too, because we use a ton of plasma for the catalyst over there for the dimensional forges. Right, I worked to the wrong place. I finally started crafting some spare. Oh, this is the deep dark. All my void miners down here, which are actually still just chugging along okay, so that part's cool. However, if we want to go to the desert, not the deep dark, And over here in the desert, you might see it on the map already, got ourselves the first of our spamming of compact fusion 3s. This was the very last thing I was working on before I left work earlier. And you can see I tried to be cheeky and used just a 64 amp energy hatch instead of spamming 32 regular energy hatches. But unfortunately, I tested this and this does not give it enough stored power to be able to fire off some of the recipes. So gonna need to spam the energy hatches, which is sad, but that's fine. What I plan on putting 4 of these down right off the bat to represent these 4 different groupings of plasma up here. These are all the catalyst ones. Very specifically, I want to get the first 3 groups over here so I'm like able to mass craft those without it also like slowing things down by having everything going through a single compact reactor back on the auto crafting network. So this is just one of the many things I'm working on. But like I said, the whole goal right now is Dyson Swarm to get power to then, and then from there we'll start expanding outwards, because I want to craft the tier 2 QFT so I can get netherite cheaper. As I recall, this was I don't need this. It's cosmic. Should be 142 of these. Why was I not doing this? Oh, it's because I'm short UIV circuits. Oh yeah, that's one last thing I wanted to show off real quick before we leave. So like I said, we're working towards the Dyson unit now to get power to really start, because once we have a good solid power base where I'm not paranoid about NAC 5 running out, I could really start going crazy. Now down here, so obviously these were all my circuits I had set up before. However, I caved to wanting to upgrade them to a different layout because of my lack of infinity, and now it is a lot faster, so this isn't quite as urgent, which is why I didn't end up finishing this, because I did this before I discovered started doing this, and then happened to discover the plasma mixer thing. Shout out to the Discord for that, because that's where I actually saw it. I saw somebody's screenshot. I was like, how are they crafting so much in one mixer? And then I realized I was being an idiot. But this guy, so the reason this setup is superior, so unless you're making mainframes, all the circuits only take 0.5 amp, so 1 energy hatch is fine. And you can have 4 of these guys powering off of 1 instead of 1 energy hatch per all these, so you can really get like half of this could be compacted into 4 of these setups. So I want to do that. And also spam more. So I still haven't I forgot I'd never actually set up the mainframe for crystal circuits, so it's just a sticking point among other things I need to do. So that's just something else I was working on. A bunch of little projects to get us towards the big project of the Dyson Swarm. But I am going to go eat dinner and then get back to mass building machines. Hope everybody has had a good day and has a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.